The Vineland Research and Innovation Centre is working hard to improve the flavor of Ontario greenhouse-grown tomatoes on the vine.
One of our partners on the project is the Ontario Greenhouse Vegetable Growers, and they've identified the tomato flavor improvement as a major research priority for them. So we've stepped up to the plate to use really an integrated approach using vegetable breeding, molecular breeding, sensory analysis, and biochemistry to understand what people want in a tastier tomato and to really drive forward the breeding program towards that locally adapted and tastier tomato.
The research project is still in the early stages, and the team is working hard to sequence the DNA of 285 genetically diverse tomato varieties.
For many years, we've known that sugars and acids and the balance of sugars and acids in tomatoes and other fruits and vegetables, that's a very important determinant of flavor. But in tomatoes, we also know now that out of the 400 and some odd volatile chemicals that are produced, these are the chemicals with low boiling points that we smell and taste. As many as 40 of these we know now are very important in determining tomato flavor.
The Consumer Insight team at the Vineland Research and Innovation Centre is also assisting with the project.
An important point for the project is that it's consumer driven. So we really want to understand from the get-go what consumers are looking for in a tastier tomato. So that's what this coming year is all about, is understanding what are the different sensory attributes that we see across a large diversity of tomatoes, and what of those attributes are consumers actually enjoying and which ones do they dislike, and then we can select for those traits in the tomatoes that we develop.
The research team is looking to create a tomato that not only tastes good, but will produce a greater yield.
I would say all genetics are coming from Dutch companies, and that's what the greenhouse growers are currently growing. However, they were developed in conditions that are very different from Ontario climate, and therefore our target is to develop varieties that are more adapted to Ontario regions. The main trait for any breeding program, regardless of what crop, it's yield. Growers are always looking for yield. That's what makes them money. But in addition to that, we would look at disease resistance, because that could lower yield. So having a plant that's resistant will produce more tomatoes. So my goal is to develop parental material that does well in Ontario environments. But in addition to that, we will introduce the tomato flavor into these plants as well.
The Vineland Research and Innovation Centre is working hard to put the science behind tomato flavor into practice. In Niagara, you're watching The Source.